This is David with High Performance Stoicism. I want to talk to you about what makes Stoics cheerful. If you're just starting off in Stoicism, you're reading some of the great works of the Stoics, like from Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius, and you're doing some of the practices, that is very exciting at the beginning. But I want to give you a little perspective view to show you some of the things that are going to be making your life cheerful by practicing Stoicism. The first thing is studying Stoicism itself is going to be important. Remember, practicing Stoicism involves learning to understand and follow nature. The understanding part is essential. Reading the works of Epictetus or Marcus or Seneca, it's beautiful. There are just so many quotes that show us something fascinating about human nature, about reality. They give us a picture of what we can become if we shape our mind in the right direction and become more rational. And studying Stoicism and finding new things, it seems there's no end to it. There's always other connections to be made. And if you keep at it, some of the things you have questions about, such as what does Marcus really mean here, you can find answers if you keep going. And I'll just give you an instance from my studying. Many people wonder, is are the things that are in your control, does that imply that a sage would have control over his emotions? And I found the answer. It's in Seneca. The sage has complete control over his attitudes. So that's a great discovery and shows what you too can find if you keep going. Now, the second thing that makes Stoics cheerful is practicing Stoicism. It's challenging at first. It's definitely interesting, but by doing Stoic practices wherever you are, and that's one of the beauties of it, you start to shape your experience in a different way. So by rehearsing in your mind certain Stoic fundamentals, such as some things are up to us and some things are not up to us, I am a part of the divine whole. On some day I shall die too. Using these thoughts, these little perspectives, when you go into public, you'll see that it's shaping your perspective of situations. It's shaping your perception, and you start to see things in a different, more inviting, and less stressful way. Another thing that makes Stoics cheerful is unexpected results. So, for example, something that has happened to me more than once, I get into a discussion with somebody on their part, the part of the other person, it becomes a little fight and they're getting angry and I'm all calm and I just answer questions and make my case calmly. And then after it, I'm not really upset at all. I didn't expect to be able to do that. And when it happened, I wasn't even thinking about Stoicism and other things. You will find yourself, you just start to do things in a more disciplined way without fighting yourself all the time. That's something to be cheerful about for sure. And I'm sure a lot of you have had such experiences. If you haven't, just keep going. Next, it's great to look at your old self in your rear view mirror. You look back and you say, I used to get angry because of a red light, even fly into a rage because the world is against me. When you realize the world is with me, that there's a kind of intelligent order to things, and that, okay, it's all right that there's a red light. And even if I'm late, that's not the end of the world. In the past, I would have been really stressed, really angry, and I'm glad to see my old self in the rearview mirror. Next, another thing that makes practicing Stoicism such a cheerful thing in life is, and this is a underrated topic, it's under discussed in social situations And that could be with your friends on your old stomping ground. It could be at a party. It could be in business, at your work. You start to find out that you are dealing with people in a much better way. And there's a couple strong reasons for this. You've tried to start to believe every human is my brother or sister. And when you apply that to new social situations, you find out people are more receptive. People are kind. People can be very open if you are. If you are, in a sense, the leader of the interaction, and you're recognizing that, okay, according to Stoicism, we're all fools. I'm a bit of a fool. This person's a fool. And it's not a big deal if I make a mistake. It's not a big deal if they say the wrong thing, whatever it might be. So that is something to be really cheerful about. Next, the world is not as scary as you thought it was. So we're scared about a lot of things. And in your business, you could be scared at even something like people snickering at you. That can hurt. People are scared about getting fired, going bankrupt, getting physically injured, getting divorce papers served. And then by going through in your mind the Stoic view of the world, trying to understand the world from the Stoic lens, you start to see, well, these things really aren't that scary, even if they should happen. And by doing this in your mind over time, you start to find out, oh, this is one of the things I was supposed to be upset about, but I'm not. There was no reason to be scared about it when I insisted on my irrational old ways. Next, illusory goods. When you find this out and you start to see it for yourself, that many of the things I've been chasing, popularity, fame, a great deal of wealth, being number one. Now, the Stoic is going to say these are rational things to pursue. You should go for it in your life, but when you devalue them in the true Stoic value system and you say, well, it used to be up here for fame, for money, for wealth, and virtue, that's not even on the screen. And then you start to say, well, virtue is the thing I'm going for. I want to be an excellent person. I want to be a courageous person, a temperate, prudent, and just person. You start to see these other things are valued less by you, much less, but you're still going for it. You're still trying to live a good life, and then going for these things is part of what shapes you as a good person. It's a beautiful thing to see that, well, these were illusions of good that I had, and most people have, and now I'm not totally free of it, but I'm moving toward freedom from all these things as the most important things. Lastly, one thing to be really cheerful about: progress. What is the future going to be like? What kind of progress can I make? In other words, if I can not be upset at things I used to be upset by, if I could just be more disciplined without even working at it at some points, you start to see your progress. Where am I going to be in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years? And here's a really exciting prospect. This recent upsurge of interest in Stoicism, it's pretty new. It's maybe 15 years old, 20 years at most in terms of the popularity of it. Who knows what is going to come out of the Stoic community? There's many people who are serious about practicing Stoicism, and since Stoicism has been largely dormant for hundreds and hundreds of years, who knows what kind of characters might arise out of it? Who knows if somebody might become virtuous, wise, the sage? It's possible, so don't rule it out. And we could have people that are captains of industry, presidential candidates. We could have people in sport who come forth and say, well, I owe it all to my Stoic practices, and that's why I'm the champion. In many other fields, we know who the GOAT is. We know who the top dog is, but it would be great to see, okay, who arises out of this Stoic movement and is really someone who has practiced Stoicism consistently, seriously, and constantly in order to become a great man. So that's it for my talk today. Like, subscribe, give me a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.